here's an update, but you won't be able to see it until after the event is over, because that means our internet's out. If the power out, we can deal with the generator. And the internet out, that's a true tragedy.
1 hour later.
Nice. So our cable came back on and our power came back on.
Thank you, National Grid.
Yep, thank you, National Grid, and thank you, Spectrum. As much as I don't like to give Spectrum a whole lot of credit, I'm going to give it to them in this case because everything's been restored, and this is well before 6 o'clock, so boom. That's a thumbs up, by the way, in case you didn't get that. So I don't know if you can hear this or not. Now you can. So what this means is our power's probably going to go out again. So I'll keep the generator on tap. But yeah, our power's been restored. That's a definite plus. Okay, so that little green light there means that the power is back on. So as soon as we know that that's on, then that would be the way that we know that the line has been restored to the outside. So the boss still has to finish boiling this out, and it didn't make any sense to cut the power off and switch over to the street power just yet.
About half a minute.
Half a minute.
Okay. You could stop videotaping.
I don't need to though. I'm just showing your hands, I'm not showing your hair.
I don't know, my hair doesn't look that bad, does it?
No, I think your hair looks great.
It got wet.
But you always say, oh, I look terrible. Okay.
Well, that's
all right, so
before
I'll
I've showered.
just film your hands. It's safer. I don't have to worry about it. I'm sure I don't get anything good to eat. How did that work? Alrighty, I've been given the word by the boss. Time to cut back off from the generator. Judging by these trees, I will be back out here again tonight. Alright. I use that just to make sure that the door gets held open. Generator breaker is off. Then because I want to run the fuel out, I don't want it to idle down. So now the fuel's turned off on that thing. It's not on idle down, so it'll use up all the fuel that's in the line, and then it'll croak. And now I'll just cut the breaker on the inside of the house back on. Okay. Go back in here. Main is back on. And I've got to cut number 9 on as well. Number 9 is our washer. The washer does not like generator power. And that's it. All right, by the time I got back outside here, the generator's already shut itself down. And then I'll just disconnect. And I'll disconnect up the other end. And that's it. I'll put the generator back over here, but I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit. So what this arrangement over here was, you probably couldn't hear me while the generator was running. I just shoved this plastic rod in here. And I bring the door down, and that way the door doesn't close. Gives me just enough airspace so that the generator can exhaust outside, but if the rain picks up or something, we don't get everything drenched. I'd like to keep the generator as clean as possible. If the weather's really bad, I'll actually bring the generator out farther, and I'll set the garage door down right on the edge of the generator itself. So you'll have a little bit of exposure to the generator, to the elements, but other than that, not much. So this is wired into the breakers, and then this, I'll close that back up now because I don't need that anymore. That keeps that secure, the breaker's off. Then I have this, which goes back to the generator. The reason why I ended up doing this is because years ago I used to do a lot of welding with my 220 welder back when I needed to be able to move the generator and the welder around to different places. I don't do that anymore, but I didn't feel like rewiring things, so that's how this became the back feeder.